No Boundaries radio show may contain adult material and coarse language. Listener discretion is advised.
And I want you to know that I'm listening to one of the coolest shows on the planet. This is No Boundaries Radio, and we're glad to have you. Better wear a cup.
This is Gabrielle Faust, and you're listening to No Boundaries Radio, where all the vampires hang out late at night.
Hi there, this is the artist, Mike Bliss. I'm over here in London, and I'm here to tell you that No Boundaries Radio has gone global and is drawing listeners from all over the world.
This is Donna Stewart from Sci-Fi Radio, and you're listening to No Boundaries Radio. They're a little messed up, but they're cool.
Welcome to the No Boundaries Radio Show. Are you ready for a wild ride in radio entertainment? Let's welcome our host, William Maltese, author of over 200 books, and JoJo from VampireWear, creator of jewelry and clothing for the undead. Everybody, we're here. Week 2. Are you there, William? Yeah.
Yes,
yeah, and we're so happy.
I wondered there for a minute, but yes, I'm here.
Yeah, everything's good now. We're so happy. We have Toni O'Kulich on the show tonight. But first, William, what have you been doing this week, and what are you drinking in honor of our guest?
Of our guest, yes.
Because I know you're feeling better.
Yeah. Or just, yes, in honor of my feeling just a little bit better. Actually, I haven't been doing much of anything over the past week except recuperating from a horrendous sinus attack, which I was suffering during our debut show on the Parax radio station last week. Well, my doctor assures me that today is the day I'm officially cured. The jury's still out on that. I still seem to be coughing, but quite aside from that. I have been feeling better, though, because I've started writing again, taking up where I left off on 2 of the books that I've been contracted to do for my Spies and Lies series. So what I'm drinking this evening, since I'm no longer on antibiotics, which didn't mix well with liquor, I'm treating myself this evening and keeping with our guest profession of hypnotherapist, I'm having hypnosis cocktails.
Oh.
Which, yes, well, look at that. I couldn't have done any better than that.
No.
Each of which is 2 ounces of vodka, 2 ounces of hypnotic original liqueur, 1 pineapple chunk, and 1 ounce of squirt soda. You just fill a cocktail shaker with ice, add the vodka and the hypnotic liqueur, shake vigorously, pour into a glass, drop in the pineapple cube, and top it all off with squirt. Which brings us to what you've been up to, JoJo, and what's new and exciting with you in VampireWear.
Well, I was thinking about that when you said that, the hypnotic stuff. That's what came to mind. So that's very cool. But I also have a discount voucher again for tonight, and it's just going to be Parax, all one word, Parax, and get 10% off anything on VampireWear.com. So just go check that out, and I just got a bunch of more tribal fang necklaces in, so go check those out, and all the footwear and candles and everything. So without further ado, let's get Toni on here. So we've got Toni O'Kulich, and Toni is a hypnotherapist, and she's been doing that for over 17 years. She also does chakra balancing and energy work, and she works at Mystiques West, which is, you can check out their website, mystiqueswest.com, and that's mystiqueswest.com, and I'll put that in the chat as well. So welcome, Toni.
Hello.
Hello, Toni.
Hi, William. How are you?
Yes, well, I'm pretty good now that we're rolling along here. But look, before we proceed, why don't I just go ahead and tell our listeners the definition of Excuse me. Confusing this with a needle. Hypnotherapy. Since I wasn't too sure what exactly it was either, but I looked it up, I think, and it said it's a form of... Now, and you can correct me if this is wrong, because God knows. Although I believe everything I get from the Internet.
Oh, yeah.
This could very well be just a bunch of bull. It says that hypnotherapy is a form of psychotherapy utilized to create subconscious change in the patient in the form of new responses, thoughts, attitudes, behaviors, and feelings.
That sounds pretty much... It sounds good, yes.
That sounds good? Okay, then. We'll leave that, we'll leave that at that. And why don't you then, Toni, just start out and tell us a little about yourself and how you initially got started down your career path. For instance, I understand that you started having visions when you were quite young.
Yes, I guess that type of stuff runs in my family. I always used to have dreams and see stuff ever since I was a kid, so it used to freak me out quite a bit, so I blocked it up for a very long time. I was actually raised Southern Baptist, went to a Southern Baptist private school, so, you weren't supposed to see and do those things anyways. And when I was about 25, I found a meditation teacher and started taking classes, and it just felt right. So I started through meditation and then doing learning healings like Reiki, and there's elevated communication healings that I do also, and got into the chakras and more into the spiritual realm of things than like the ghost stuff, because I didn't want to get scared. But over the past about 5 years, one of my girlfriends I have is a psychic also, and she has taught me that you can protect yourself now, because when I was a kid, when you're seeing the stuff that scares you, you don't know how to make it go away or protect yourself, so anything can come through. So for about the last 7 years, I do house cleanings and cleansings, not cleaning, but cleansings, like if people are having spirits in the house and they're not positive, we go in and cleanse the house and then do house blessings and stuff like that too on top of everything else.
So what is the most common reasons that someone seeks out a hypnotherapist? I mean, do you do that stereotypical relax sessions, or are you off doing something else?
I'm a talker, so usually when I first meet up with a new client and they come in, I sit down and talk to them for a good hour to hour and a half, so that you build a rapport and there's a trust there, because if someone trusts you, it's easier to work with the client because there's no weird energy between the two of you. They know they're in good hands. And when people talk, they say things that they may not know that they're saying, underlining words that they use, ways they phrase stuff. So when you're doing the hypnosis with the client, you can use the wording that they use so it clicks to them and they connect with that wording, so you can reform their thought processes and their habits, which is basically hypnosis. How I like to use it as a soul healing. Like, you work with the core part of that person, the most truest part of them, to make it the best them that they can be along their journey this time. So that's how I try to help.
Because I was thinking, with all of the problems that I have, I was thinking, if I sat down and decided who I'd ever go to, I'm not too sure that a hypnotherapist would be my first choice, which makes me wonder how people decide to pick a hypnotherapist rather than, I don't know,
have
a fortune teller or
have you been hypnotized?
Or somebody, or somebody else. Or maybe people are more intelligent than I am and have a clue where I'm just clueless, maybe. So
a lot of the times we're the last straw. They've been to the therapist. They've gone to sometimes they're church counselors or whatever or whatnot, and nothing's worked for them. So they heard from a friend of a friend of a friend, or someone told them they should go see this person, and out of not knowing what else to do, they show up. So. Because I mean that certainly sounds logical to me. Because as I said, I really probably wouldn't have had a clue unless a friend of a friend of a friend would say, try Toni.
Have you been hypnotized though, William, or have you ever done that?
Yes, I've been hypnotized. Not for therapy. Well,
not for therapy.
I don't know whether I was hypnotized or not. I went to a hypnotist once. I don't know whether it worked or not. I mean, it was one of those things where I kept thinking, when he said, you can't lift your hand, I kept thinking, yes, I can, but maybe I'm not supposed to.
Yeah.
It was that sort of thing. So, I mean, I don't know. I have been to a hypnotist, yes. Did it work or not? I don't know.
Yeah.
When they finally say, you don't need to come in anymore, which this hypnotist did said, I think he thought that I was probably a lost cause and was just...
No. Usually they record it, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was right. He had a pair of glasses that, showed me psychedelic colors and all of that sort of thing. Oh. Flashlights, which I thought, this, so for the money I at least was entertained. But I'm not too sure it worked, I'm not too sure I came out of there any better than I went in.
But, yeah, Toni, I was looking on the site, and they offer mediumship lessons. And you teach those as well, is that correct? Or
No, Ray does.
Oh,
Ray,
okay.
Ray Frazier does the mediumship lessons.
Okay.
He's in charge of all the classes. I do mainly the meditation classes on Fridays.
Oh, okay.
So we do an open meditation, and it's my way of giving back. It's only $5, and it's just a way of giving back to people that are wanting to help themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's a place to just come and start the weekend off in the right place, and let go of all the stress of the week and just start off in the right place.
Is that like a little like yoga, or that's how I'm picturing it?
Well, actually, the meditations that we do is, to me, it's a form of hypnosis. And hypnosis is a form of meditation. Meditation is a form of hypnosis. They kind of go hand in hand because you're going into a trance state when you're meditating, and it's just a group hypnosis basically. But it's a group meditation, and I always do healing and connecting with the higher God energy, whatever, universal energy, goddess, whatever you believe in, to let go of old baggage, old thought processes, negative self-talk, that type of stuff that keeps us from living our best life possible. Mm-hmm. And we create new habits. So, in making new choices through our daily life and just going into that place of calm for a good hour it's beneficial. So,
yeah, that would be neat.
So is there a difference between a psychic and a spirit medium? And are you one or the other, or neither?
I don't claim. I don't claim to be a psychic. I don't see dead people. Or I try not to see dead people. Sometimes they show themselves to me and it freaks me out. But
I don't think I want to see them.
When I'm working with a client and I'm doing like the chakra healings or doing energy balancing, I can pick up intuitively what's going on with them. But I don't consider myself a psychic. I consider myself more of I connect to people when I'm working with them. I do get messages sometimes, but it's for that person that I'm working with on that level. I'm not a person that sits down. I'm not a reader that will sit down and do an hour long with you because I just don't need that much stuff in my head. So, if I'm doing like a 15-minute chakra healing on you or doing energy work with you, I do get messages or feelings or sensations that tells me that I need to share this with you or ask if this is connected to something and if it sounds right. I always get confirmation, and if they don't understand it, I usually tell them to think about it, and if it's not what it is, I redo it by the end of class. We'll go through their energy field again. But 90% of the time, I'm pretty much on the money with it. So,
Do you use accoutrements like crystals, crystal balls, rune stones, tarot cards, or do you just intuitively intuit what's going on?
I intuit. I do. I like noises. I do drummings when we're doing the one-on-one before class because it kind of relaxes everybody, and there's a singing bowl that I use. I like chimes and bells and stuff because if you're nervous, the energy that resonates from whatever instrument or noise maker that I'm using will usually calm the energy down so you can transition into the meditative state, go into the trance state easier because you're not stressed out. So it's easier to release your pent-up energy, kind of.
would be clairaudience then instead of clairvoyance? Is that the difference between the sounds and the messages kind of thing?
Kind of, sort of, because I'm a noise person. I love loud noise. I like music loud. I like feeling the bass in the music. You know, I've always been like since I was a kid. I like the noise. So that kind of attunes me to the energy of the person that I'm working with through the vibrations of the instrument, basically. I guess that's a good way of explaining it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to ask, too, do you feel like when you're finished that, do you feel drained yourself from getting all this?
Not anymore. When I was younger, I've been doing like pressure point therapy. I used to do it on my dad when I was 4 years old and take his shoulder pain or back pain or headaches away.
Wow.
So I've been doing this weird stuff since I was a kid. And before, I used to want to save everybody and fix everyone. So I used to take all their junk and put it in me energetically.
Okay.
And I would get sick. And over the years, I've learned everyone has their own path, their own journey that they're supposed to be on. So it's doing a hindrance to them to take away everything that they have because they won't learn what they're supposed to, and they'll keep doing it over and over again until they acknowledge what it is they're supposed to learn from it.
Yeah. Well, they're even starting. They're starting to do that in hospitals now, like that.
Right.
The healing touch kind of thing, and I always wondered if they're taking it into themselves. Because a lot of psychics or mediums have that. They end up with a lot of medical problems in that.
Exactly. You have to let the energy flow through you, but back out so it can be reprocessed. It's not yours to hold on to.
Let it go.
I'm not a godsend. I'm not a savior. Yeah, I let it go. Because it's not mine to hold on to and let that negativity or whatever that energy resonate within my field. So I let it. I release it when I'm doing it. It just flows through, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think, too, we have to give a shout-out to Ray, who owns the Mystiques West. So I just wanted to say thank you to Ray for all the great information, and our listeners should check out mysticswest.com because I was like, there's amazing information on there. It's like one of the best sites I've seen for all that kind of stuff. So that's excellent.
And speaking of readings, JoJo, I understand that Toni has volunteered to do a private one for you on the air.
Well, it's not private. It's not private. It's on the air. What? That would be cool. We could do that, and then we'll just take a really short break afterwards because we wanted to get to the spirit photography and all that. But
yeah.
But if Toni's ready.
So, I'm ready. I can go ahead.
Yeah.
Do we need any bells? Or?
Do I need to do anything?
No, you're fine. All you gotta do is just relax for a second. Let me kind of get into your energy field so I can pick up what I was feeling or what I'm feeling.
Well, I was a little stressed getting on, but so hopefully it's okay.
I think I'll be okay. You're good people, so that's all that matters. So.
Oh, good.
Okay. Let me see. It's hard to do this verbally because I'm so used to getting into the zone. I'm working with people, so you have a very good energy. Your energy is very youthful to me, like a young teenager, which is vibrant and alive and youthful and happy. When I'm going to your energy field, you have your hands in a lot of pots. It's like you're working with a bunch of different stuff, and sometimes it's very chaotic and overwhelming, but you try to stay focused, but either you're focused or you're off. It's like you fight that battle.
Yes.
And when you get off, it makes you feel in a funk, so you're emotionally, your mood kind of switches to however you're feeling with everything that's going on around you. Like you emotionally connect to the stuff, even though, and it makes you feel out of sorts sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you actually feel like when you're working with stuff that you have going on that you kind of don't know where you're at. You feel kind of lost at times. But if you keep focused on your center and on your goal that you're towards, that will help out so much more to keep yourself balanced.
Yeah.
And I know there's ups and downs and there's changes, and it's a rough time. Everything does work out the way it's supposed to.
Oh, good.
In your heart chakra, I feel like someone that you love dearly passed away, and it hit you really hard, and you haven't completely healed up from that yet.
Mm-hmm.
It moves up into mental blocks too every once in a while. So working through that, I think, would give you a lot more centered energy so that it can flow through. I'm not sure who it was, but I can just feel that there was this great love for this person, and when they left, it left like an emptiness within your heart chakra.
No, that makes sense.
So,
yeah, that would be my father. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it would be my father. Yeah.
Okay. So that love should be there instead of the sadness and the missing. Replace it with the happy feelings and the love that you have for him, and that will help to start letting things flow and heal much better than what they have been. You know, it comes and goes in waves. It's like sometimes it's really good, but other times it hits really hard. And it tends when that hardness, when it's hitting, is when you have a lot of chaos going on around you because you don't feel the support that you felt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but for you, for allowing yourself to be centered, I really think that either breathing exercises or doing mental focusing on what you want to do, even if it's not a physical list, but making those goals and putting them in an order that you know is attainable, so you don't feel that you're being thrown off all the time, because it gets very frustrating. It's like you move ahead, and then it's like 2 steps back, and then you get ahead, and it's a couple steps back, and it's very frustrating because you have too many things going on the fire, and you're going from pot to pot, so you're not able to enjoy anything that's actually going on because you have something else to move to next. You can't actually absorb the positive stuff that's coming from it.
Oh,
does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I've always heard the saying, you know, do one thing and do it right.
But, I mean, I think you're capable of doing 3 or 4 things at one time because you're the type of person that has so much energy. If you were just doing one thing, you would be bored to death.
Oh, yeah, probably.
You know, so, I mean,
yeah.
But, I mean, enjoy what you're doing. I mean, if you're doing 5 different things, just take enjoyment out of it so that you're getting the positive energy out of it instead of just the stress of it, too.
Oh, I see.
You know,
yeah.
You know, it's okay to have 5 things going at one time because you're fully capable of doing it. But just enjoy it while you're doing it. It'll change your perceptions on everything that you have going on. I think they will mesh kind of together and flow much easier than feeling distorted when they're actually all connected, really, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, yeah. Yeah, that they relate to each other, so it's...
Yeah.
Usually that's what's going on, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good to know. I'm like a teenager, William.
Yes, I know that.
I knew that.
Yes, I knew that. By the way, I'm supposed to tell me that Patrick has tried to check into the chat room and he can't seem to manage it.
Oh.
He seems to be about as skilled in doing that sort of thing as I am. So, and he actually asked me for an assist, if you can believe, and I can't manage 2 things at once, so I have to clear the chat room.
Well, you know what we'll do?
I can't speak and chat at the same time, so I'm at a loss. So he asked, and I'm afraid I'm just, duh.
That's okay. I think it's kind of funny.
It is
he
funny.
He can't get in, or he would have been chatting away like everybody else. So
well,
okay.
What I'm going to do is... when we go to break, I'll go have a peeky in the chat room and see if I can find him.
Okay.
I don't think he can't figure out how to check. He can't figure out how to check in. to the chat room. I don't think.
Okay.
I don't think he knows how to get in.
Okay, well, I'll see if he's on MySpace. What am I talking about? Facebook. I'll see if he's on there.
I don't know. You're trying to manage two things.
I'm doing too many things at once. I'm doing at least 5 things at once. So,
That's right.
So I'll see if I can find him when we go to break, and and we can figure that out so he can listen. Okay, so we'll be right back, you guys.
He might be listening. He might not just be chatting. I don't know what's going on, but then I never do.
Well, at least you got the message, William. I never saw anything.
Well, it was because it was on Facebook.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't have Facebook open while I was doing this.
It's because it's on Facebook. Okay.
Okay, so we'll be right back, and when we get back, we're going to... I wanted to talk to Tony about the spirit photography and all that, so...
so do I.
Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, we'll be right back, guys.
Looking for some erotic literature? Guaranteed to ignite your passion. Look no further than author William Maltese. With titles such as Dare to Love in Oz, Circus Sex, Godmaker Vampires of London, and Love Hurts. You can pick your favorite flavor, from mainstream romance to S&M and gay erotica. Want to get hot in the kitchen or the back of the boat? William also has a line of tasty cookbooks. Check out Back of the Boat, Gourmet Cooking, and even gourmets have to diet. Go to WilliamMaltese.com and enjoy over 200 books and over 4 decades of love.
When the sun goes down, do you start to crave something dark and decadent? VampireWear has something for your immortal soul. Jewelry, accessories, and if you dare, VampireWear. Home of the Tribal Fang Necklace. Complete with certificate of authenticity, except no other. Get your VampireWear at VampireWear.com. We always get what we pray for.
In a world of the Para-X Radio Network lies a lounge with food for mind and soul, a place to gather, learn, and chat about the unexplained and paranormal while being served by your most congenial host, Reverend Tim Shaw. Next stop, the Black Cat Lounge, Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on the Para-X Radio Network.
Okay, you guys, we are back from break, and we were talking to Toni O'Kulich, and Toni works as a hypnotherapist and chakra balancing and energy worker at Mystiques West, and that's MYSTIQUESWEST.com. So, welcome back to the show, you guys.
Mm-hmm. And my co-host, the Teen Spirit.
Yes.
JoJo.
It smells like Teen Spirit.
Yes, as a matter of fact, it does. Spooky. Okay, Toni, why don't you... I understand that you have a knack for spirit photography, which I've always found fascinating. So why don't you just jump right in? How long has this been going on?
I'll start off at the beginning. When I was probably about 3 or 4 years old, my mom's house was very active where I grew up at, and I used to always freak out and tell my mom that the bubbles were chasing me because I was a kid and you don't know how to explain what you're seeing. Mm-hmm. And I just remember that there used to be all these little circles, and there's like people or faces within the bubbles. And I would go sleep in the tub because it's one of those old tubs that are actually cast iron underneath the enamel. And because cast iron grounds you, and they would leave me alone. I wouldn't see them no more. But tending over the years with pictures that I've taken in our house and other places, the orbs are what I thought were bubbles when I was a child. So it's come to fruition. A lot of our family gatherings, or if I'm just in the house and I feel like something's in the room with us, if I pick up the camera and take a picture, normally I will get an orb or 10. So they come out. I tend to be able to photograph them, which is kind of cool because I know some people can't get them to energetically be strong enough to get on film. So,
do they ruin your pictures? That's a question.
Sometimes they do. They've ruined a couple. Like my mom's birthday, we had the whole family together. Finally, there's a lot of grandkids and stuff. And there was one I gave JoJo one of the pictures. My niece, the orb's right over her face, and it's huge. So it ruined the whole picture. So.
Are you going to post that, JoJo? So
yes.
we can all
yeah, I have all.
Do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, then do you see these? Do you see these bubbles before you take the pictures? I mean, are they there or?
I can feel them more so than see them because I blocked out the seeing stuff a lot when I was a kid. Every once in a while, I can catch a glimpse of them and I'll take a picture. But for the most part, when there is spirit around, I can sense them. And it's weird because, like, in the pictures, when there's a couple when my mom was sick, I had a picture that I took in the living room. And in the orbs, they had a face that looked like my father. My father's passed on. So it was just really strange that you can see the facial structure inside the orb itself. So to me, that was confirmation that it was my dad watching over my mom.
Oh, I think I stepped on JoJo's question. I think she was going to ask you about orbs. So I'm going to let you ask her about auras if you'd like to.
Yeah,
JoJo.
yeah, I just wondered if you did anything with aura readings. But also, we had a question from chat. Kimmy J wanted to know if you did any work with tuning forks.
I love tuning forks. I did have my own practice for a while, and my office burnt down.
Oh, no.
And I was new at it, so I didn't know. I was inside a office building, and I didn't know I had to have insurance, and I lost everything I had. So I haven't had the fundage to replace everything that I had because those are quite expensive, but I do use singing bowls that are attuned to the chakras, which has the same resonance. They don't work quite as well as the tuning forks did, but it's all an intent to me. I really think if you want the healing or the balancing, and no matter what the means is, you'll get it.
That's neat because actually someone was just talking to me the other day about the bowls. What do they call them? Tuning bowls. Yeah.
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 Well, that's fascinating because I didn't even think of tuning forks.
Yeah. I guess Kimmy said she loves them. She uses them a lot. She was telling me to use them too. So.
Yeah. Tuning forks are awesome. They have such a high resonance to them that they can usually penetrate and break up almost any block that you're ready to release within your system. You know, I mean, there's people that do come in for healing sessions, but they're not quite ready to get rid of all their stuff yet. So you do what you can to break up the pieces that they're ready to let go of, because sometimes it's too much all at one time. You'll have to do a couple sessions so that they're actually ready to release it, because we take ownership of some of the most negative things in our life, and we don't know what to replace that label or a thought process with. So we're fearful to let go of it.
Yeah, isn't that strange?
You know?
It's strange, but it totally makes sense. I totally get it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, what about anything? Have you done anything like the automatic writing? And then I've seen something. There's automatic writing and inspired writing, and I was thinking that would help William out a lot. But
oh, thank you. I often wish I could exploit automatic writing, because sometimes I get awfully tired of doing all that stuff.
Yeah. And Tony, William's family has history of candle readers. Which is
very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, except like you. I mean, nobody wanted to expose it to me very early, so by the time I realized that I really had it, I really wasn't all that interested because I found it too spooky. So basically, we have the same little context. We're in the same context there. Except I think you've exploited your talents far more than I have, because I'm a little bit leery to get involved in it more than I have. So.
Well, she's using hers as a living and helping people. So.
Yeah. Good energy.
But you do that too, William, through writing your books. So.
Yes, and I'm supporting myself. But it's not all that automatic, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Although it'd be nice if it would be. Although once I did think I was channeling the Marquis de Sade. So.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, not really at the time. If you know anything about, You know anything about that gentleman? It was all very spooky, so, yeah, no. So.
Okay.
So are you into auras then, Toni? Do you see colors? And
sometimes I do. It depends on the person. I get more of an instinctual gut feeling than an actual seeing. Now, if someone has a very strong aura, or if when we're in meditation and I have a group of people, I go through and I do energy healing on each of them while they're doing their stuff in the meditation, and I can feel them. And if they're in a really bright place, I can see the auras, and if I focus on it. I have to focus to have the things work constantly because I don't like being bothered by spirit or harassed, as some might say, so I kind of shut it off. And when I want it to work, I can bring it forth so I can use it. But, there's a friend of mine, Christo, that he's a awesome, divinely blessed soul. I love him. And I was at one of his classes, and he had blue energy about 20 feet in the air coming down through his crown chakra, which is the top of his head. And that was just the most awesomest thing I have seen in such a long time. It was just phenomenal.
So you could see it, like with your blind eye?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I could see it with my blind eye. I was not in trance or nothing, but Christo's divinely blessed. He's a divinely blessed soul. So he does archetypal readings and healings, and he is just so talented. It's one of those people that you aspire to be like. So it's just amazing, and it's just his energy level is so high that unless you're completely blocked off, you can see it, and you can feel it when you're around him. So,
yeah.
Does this ever turn up in your photographs, or are you just a bubble person as far as your photography goes? Do you ever get auras in your...
Every once in a while, I'll get weird glitches, and then if something comes up weird in the camera, I usually try to take 2 or 3 pictures to make sure it wasn't just the lighting or something weird happened. I do get weird, it's like swirls, like orange or red energy and lights, like you left the shutter open too long kind of sort of, but I have a point and shoot, so I can't do that on my camera. And when we go for graveyard walks and whatnot, I do take pictures, and I've gotten some weird, just really strange pictures that I'm not really sure what they were, because it's like something stands in front of the camera and everything goes blurry, or you get these weird smoky, it's energy, but unless you know exactly what it is, I'm one of those, the proof is in the pudding type person. You have to prove to me I'm not oh my goodness, it's a ghost type person. No, I want to make sure that it's factual, not just saying, oh, that's spirit, da-da-da-da-da. I'm a very literal person, so if it's not something that I can actually see and I know for a fact, I don't share them, because it's just building up a want in your mind to me. So,
well, yeah, I didn't want to run out of time here, and I wanted you to something that I thought was important. I wanted you to let the listeners know how they can protect themselves from negative energy, and also the site had a lot of really great positive affirmations on it. So I was thinking we could lead out with some positive affirmations. Would be cool.
Okay. One of my favorite affirmations that I use in class all the time is, I have full faith in myself, in my God, and in my path. Because if you don't have faith in yourself, you're not going to achieve to your greatest ability. And if something negative is bothering you, if it's a person at work or a coworker, just imagine yourself. It's kind of like it's a silver mirror around you, and whatever negative energy they're coming towards you, it reflects back to them. Like the Terminator guy, the liquid metal guy, when he could shift. Just imagine that type of film over you, because it protects you, because it can't penetrate through the mirrors. And one of the things that I always had when I was a kid was self-harassing when I was asleep and I couldn't wake up. And if you can't get God out, just in your mind, if you say God, 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 and protect yourself with white light, it will make anything that's negative go away from you. So,
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
You know, 'cause sometimes, I mean, if you're in a dream state or if you're having an out-of-body experience or just something just really bad over you, where because I used to get where I wake up and I can't move. You know, you just feel that heaviness on you.
Yeah.
If you can just get your mind, because I didn't know that and I learned it when I was older, just thank God, because the energy is there. You don't have to actually speak the words, and whatever that negative stuff is will go away. But you can always protect yourself with white light. Just imagine the white light in, through, and around you. 3 feet above, 3 feet below, and 3 feet around.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But everybody, we were so happy to have Toni on the show tonight, and everybody can go to the site, mystiqueswest.com, and we'll have that all posted on our Facebooks and stuff. So we have to pass off here to we've got Butterfly Effect coming up, hosted by Ginger, and she's a psychic medium as well. So that's going to be a fun show. And for any of your erotic reads or delicious cookbooks, make sure you go to Amazon.com and put in William Maltese. And for gothic vampire jewelry, footwear, candles, books, etc., please check out my site, VampireWear.com. So thank you so much, Toni. It was
Thank you,
really
Toni.
cool.
Thanks for having me.
Thank
you, William. Thank you, JoJo.
Thank you, and we have to have you back soon.
I would love to.
Okay. Good night, everybody. Be positive.
Yeah, be positive.
Yeah. Thanks, William. William. Okay, good night.
Good night.